You've probably been told your whole life that you're too sensitive, that you care too much, feel too deeply, or think too intensely about things other people dismiss. And maybe for a while you believed that was a weakness. You tried to toughen up, to ignore what your heart was screaming, to play along with a world that often rewards coldness over compassion. But here's the truth you've always known deep down. Your sensitivity isn't a weakness, it's your greatest strength. As a Sigma empath, you don't just feel for others, you see through them. You pick up on energy shifts, unspoken truths, and motives that most people can't even sense. And when you learn how to channel that awareness, it becomes a power that no manipulation, no pretense, and no mask can survive. This is where your sensitivity stops being a burden and becomes the quiet force that makes you unshakable. You sense what others can't hide. You've probably noticed how often you pick up on things no one else seems to see. The shift in someone's tone, the way their smile doesn't match their eyes, the tension in a room that others completely miss. As a Sigma empath, your sensitivity works like radar. You feel the truth before it's spoken. People may try to hide their motives, but you sense when something doesn't add up. You can tell when someone's words are polished, but their energy feels heavy. You know when someone is acting kind, but secretly resents you. This isn't imagination, it's awareness. And while others overlook it, you're already reading between the lines, piecing together what's really happening. That's why people can't easily deceive you, because you don't just listen to what's being said, you feel what's being left unsaid. You turn pain into awareness. Every scar you carry has taught you something. The betrayals, the broken trust, the moments when you gave too much and received nothing in return, they all left a mark. And while those experiences hurt, they also sharpened you. They made you more aware, more discerning, more able to recognize dishonesty before it takes root. As a Sigma empath, you don't just feel pain, you learn from it. You've seen what manipulation looks like up close, so now you can spot it a mile away. You know the subtle signs, the way someone avoids giving straight answers, the guilt trips disguised as love, the charm that feels too rehearsed. Pain didn't make you bitter, it made you alert. It gave you an inner compass that warns you when something isn't right, and that awareness protects you, turning what once broke you into the very strength that now keeps you safe. You protect your energy fiercely. There was a time when you gave without limits. You carried other people's pain, solved problems that weren't yours, and let yourself get drained just to keep the peace. But eventually you realized something important. Not everyone deserves your energy. As a Sigma empath, you've learned to protect it like it's sacred. You set quiet boundaries, not out of anger, but out of self-respect. You decide who gets close, who earns your time, and who no longer has access to you. And when someone tries to push past those boundaries, you don't argue or over-explain, you simply step back. That shift changes everything. Instead of being consumed by people who take without giving, you invest in places that bring you peace, growth, and genuine connection. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's survival. And it's how you keep your sensitivity from becoming exhaustion, turning it instead into a source of strength. You stay grounded in solitude. Most people do everything they can to avoid being alone. They distract themselves with noise, with company, with constant activity because silence feels uncomfortable. But for you, solitude is different. As a Sigma empath, you don't run from it. You need it. Silence isn't empty for you. It's where you recharge, where your thoughts untangle, and where your emotions find balance. Time alone gives you clarity that no crowded room ever could. It's in those quiet moments that you process the world, let go of the energy you've absorbed, and return to yourself. People may not understand why you step back, but you know it's essential. Solitude doesn't isolate you, it strengthens you. It allows you to come back calmer, clearer, and more grounded than before. And that's what makes your independence so powerful. You don't just survive alone, you grow stronger because of it. You lead through quiet influence. You've never needed to shout to be heard or demand authority to be respected. As a Sigma empath, your strength shows in how you carry yourself. People notice the way you listen without judgment, the way you speak with intention instead of noise, and the way your actions align with your values. That quiet consistency builds trust, often without you even realizing it. Others feel calmer around you because your presence makes them feel safe, seen, and understood. And when things fall apart, people naturally look to you, not because you forced yourself into leadership, but because your energy inspires confidence. You influence without control, and that's why it's powerful. While others chase attention or dominance, your calm steadiness draws people in. You don't lead by pushing people where you want them to go. You lead by showing them what it looks like to stand strong and authentic, and they follow because they want that too. You refuse to be controlled by approval. One of the strongest shifts you've made is realizing you don't need anyone's permission to be yourself. For a long time, you may have looked for validation, hoping someone would see your worth, give you recognition, or finally treat you the way you treated them. But as a Sigma empath, you've grown past that. You don't chase approval anymore because you understand that your value doesn't rise or fall based on how someone else sees you. That independence makes you immune to manipulation. People can't guilt you into compliance. They can't dangle acceptance as bait, and they can't control you with a fear of rejection. You know who you are and what you stand for, and that clarity gives you freedom. The moment you stopped needing everyone to like you was the moment you became untouchable, because now the only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. You see through masks instantly. Charm might fool most people, but it doesn't fool you. As a Sigma empath, you've learned to recognize the subtle gap between what someone says and what their energy reveals. No matter how polished their words sound, you feel when something is off. The slight hesitation in their voice, the forced laugh, the kind gesture that doesn't match the tension underneath. You don't always call it out, but you notice it immediately. And while others get swept up in appearances, you're already seeing through the act. That's why manipulators struggle around you, because you're not dazzled by surface level charm. You can sense when someone's intentions don't align with their actions. And once you feel that disconnect, you know exactly who you're dealing with. People can wear masks for everyone else, but not for you. Your sensitivity cuts through the performance and gets to the truth every time. You turn sensitivity into power. For most of your life, your sensitivity probably felt like a curse. You felt everything too deeply, carried emotions that weren't yours, and often wished you could just shut it off. But over time, you realized that what once felt like a burden is actually your greatest strength. As a Sigma empath, you've turned that sensitivity into resilience, because after everything you've absorbed and survived, nothing can break you easily. You've turned it into clarity, because your ability to sense the truth keeps you from wasting time on lies and false connections. And you've turned it into emotional intelligence, because you understand people in ways they don't even understand themselves. Your sensitivity didn't make you weak. It made you powerful in a way that most people will never reach. It became the quiet force that protects you, guides you, and allows you to walk through the world with strength that comes from the deepest part of who you are. At the end of the day, your sensitivity was never something to fix or hide. It's what gave you wisdom, strength, and the ability to see the world in ways others can't. Being a Sigma empath means you don't just feel, you transform what you feel into clarity and resilience, and that's why people can't define you, control you, or box you in. Your sensitivity became your power, and it's the reason you walk through life with a strength most people will never understand. If these words made you feel seen, stay close. Subscribe and come back whenever you need a reminder that your depth is not a weakness, it's your greatest gift.